there is a certain a certain member of parliament here in Kenya, who people really praise him so much because he really works for the people that he is actually representing. He works for them so much. So when we compare when we do statistics and compare how the member of parliaments are working in the constituencies where they're coming from, you realize that this young man really works. In fact, there are two. One of them is called Peter Salasya. No, there are three. There is Peter Salasya, there is Babu Owino, and there is this one called Ndindi Nyoro. So they really work so much. So sometimes you hear people complaining in the parliament that these people, the money that is being allocated into their constituencies is higher compared to the other MPs, which is not true. So even people in the comment, whenever these people are showing how they are working and the works they've been doing to their people or their constituencies, you find out that in those kind of videos in the comment section, you'll realize that many people are coming to the comment section asking themselves, like they are asking questions. Where does these MPs get money that they are using into their constituencies, or thus their sub-counties, to build schools, to build hospitals, to take children to school, like all those things. Like, where are they getting money? Does it mean they are the only MPs who are being given money and others don't get money? Because they are working so much. So that is the questions people normally ask themselves in the comment section. Where are these MPs getting money? Because other member of parliaments are not working the way these member of parliaments are working. Okay? And we came to realize that many member of parliament steal money. When they're given money, when funds are allocated to them to work for their people in their respective constituencies, they don't actually use that money to work for those people. They keep that money for themselves. So they would come and establish a certain thing. Maybe they would launch a project. That project might not even end, or rather one project that costs just a little money, and then they will be walking around saying, we did this, and in real sense there is nothing they did. But these MPs, they are using the money they are being given to work for the people of their respective constituencies. Okay? And it is shown all over in the media, in the social media, everywhere. So people wonder, where does they get money? Where are they getting money from? Now, this is the same thing that is happening in Burkina Faso. President Ibrahim Traore is showing and he is proving to the world, like to Africa, especially to Africa. African presidents wonder. African presidents, they really wonder. Most of them, okay, they don't wonder. African presidents know. They know very well that there is money in their countries, but that money that is in their countries, they are not using that money to build, or rather to develop their countries, to build infrastructure in their country, to improve agricultural sector, to improve health sector, to improve educational sector in their country. They are using that money for selfish gains, for their own selves. Okay, so people keep on thinking that the country does not have money, but Ibrahim Traore has made people in Africa wonder, and even abroad. Okay, people are wondering, because Ibrahim Traore would wake up one day and do something that costs a lot of money. Okay, and we begin asking ourselves, so how can he? In fact, this Burkina Faso is a country that is not that big. It's a country that many people have known Burkina Faso as one of the poorest countries in West Africa, and in Africa in particular, and in Africa at large. And therefore, you find out Ibrahim Traore, every other time he comes up with a new thing. Every other time he comes up with something new. Every other time he comes up with something new. And everything that he's coming up with, it costs money. It costs money. He doesn't just wake up one morning and comes up with something. Everything he comes up with costs money. Okay? For example, he has donated ambulance just recently. He donated tractors to the farmers. He donated motorbikes to the farmers. He has built hospitals. He is doing things that many people are really, really, really wondering. Okay? And that one proves to us that there is a lot of money in these countries. There is a lot of money in Africa. But this money, we're not using it to build our own selves. People are using this money on selfish gains. Other money, people are the foreign countries they're coming into our countries. They are taking our money, taking what belongs to us to their own countries to build their own countries. And the people who are allowing them to do that are the politicians and the leaders we're having in Africa. Okay, so Ibrahim Traore is proving to the world, he is showing us that many African leaders are actually corrupt leaders. They are very corrupt, and they will never do anything for the goodness of a common mwananchi or a common citizen. Okay, because if Burkina Faso can be able to be launching projects every other day and coming up with great projects and great things every other day, and we have other big countries in Africa. Talk about South Africa is a big country in Africa. Egypt is a big country in Africa. Ethiopia is a big country in Africa. Are you getting my point? We have great countries in Africa, big countries in Africa compared to Burkina Faso, which if it's about financial status, they are supposed to be considered higher in terms of financial status compared to Burkina Faso. But why is it that Burkina Faso is the only country that is producing and is coming up with great things every other time? Talk about many big hospitals, level 5 hospitals, and talk about schools, talk about like everything. Why? It is because African leaders in our countries, people are paying a lot of tax, a lot of money in form of tax to be able to take care of the country and every other thing. But that money goes to the pockets of the corrupt leaders we are having in Africa. I want you to watch this video, how Ibrahim Traore has focused on the health sector, and people are very happy, and he is helping people so much, and people are happy with that decision that he has just made. Let's take a look in this video, and then you'll tell me what you think on the comment section about this video and about what you think about Ibrahim Traore, and then I'll do my best to make sure I give a response, and I read all the comments and give a response where possible. I am Matamba Haiti, and this is African Streamline. Without further ado, let's get after it.
In a world where headlines often focus on conflict and crisis, something incredible happened in the heart of Africa. A U.S. general stood in silent disbelief as Captain Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso, handed over free, full-service mobile clinics to all 13 regions of his country. A gift to women and children in some of the most underserved areas in Africa. Not funded by foreign aid, not delivered by global NGOs, but powered by Burkina Faso's own gold. This is a story of vision, leadership, and hope. This is how Africa rises, on its own terms. This is Make Africa Great. Across the African continent, access to quality healthcare remains one of the most urgent challenges. In rural areas, where more than 60% of the population in many countries live, clinics are often under-equipped, understaffed, or completely out of reach. Expectant mothers walk miles for prenatal care, and many children are born without any medical supervision. Diseases like cervical cancer, breast cancer, and complications during childbirth are often preventable, but without early detection and treatment, they become deadly. The World Health Organization estimates that over 70% of cancer deaths in Africa are preventable, if only there were access to basic screening services. The tragedy is not a lack of knowledge or skill. Africa has brilliant doctors and nurses. It's about access, infrastructure, and political will. And that's where Captain Ibrahim Traore stepped in with something no one expected. At just 34 years old, Captain Ibrahim Traore became the youngest leader in the world when he took power in 2022. A former army officer, he rose in response to public frustration over insecurity and economic challenges in Burkina Faso. But what makes Traore different isn't just his age or background, it's his vision. He believes Africa must rely on its own resources and stand proudly without waiting for approval or permission from the West. While many leaders give speeches, Traore takes action. He speaks about sovereignty, self-reliance, and service to the people. And in July 2024, he put those beliefs into motion with one of the most ambitious health initiatives Africa has ever seen. One that's changing lives already. With the launch of free, full-service mobile clinics, Burkina Faso has taken healthcare where it's needed most, to the people. These are not just ambulances or pop-up tents. Each clinic is a fully equipped vehicle offering prenatal care, ultrasound screenings, breast and cervical cancer detection, basic emergency services, child health checks. The focus? Women and children, the backbone of every society, and too often the most neglected. The initiative was rolled out to all 13 regions of Burkina Faso, reaching remote villages where the nearest hospital is sometimes a full day's journey away. And here's what really shocked the world. These clinics were 100% free. They were not funded by outside donors. They were paid for using Burkina Faso's own gold reserves, turning natural wealth into public good. Captain Traore's team said it clearly. We are investing our own resources in our own people. We do not need to beg for help. During a joint discussion with regional military officials, a U.S. general reportedly asked about the costs and logistics of such an ambitious program. When he learned it was funded through gold, not loans or foreign partnerships, he fell silent. According to witnesses, he was visibly stunned, not by the technology, but by the principle. This wasn't about what Burkina Faso could do. It was about what it was willing to do, without Western aid. African citizens around the continent began to share the story online. The hashtags #Captain Traore, #Gold for Health, and #Make Africa Great began trending in Francophone and Anglophone regions alike. Influencers, journalists, and even diaspora leaders began praising the move. Commentators said things like, "This is the Africa we've been waiting for. Gold should feed our people, not sit in foreign banks. If Traore can do it, why not other leaders?" Meanwhile, critics of Western aid models began pointing to this moment as proof that Africa doesn't need saving. It needs sovereignty. This story isn't just about clinics. It's about dignity. It's about belief in African potential. It's about a leader who used gold, the same gold often taken out of Africa, to give life back to its people. Captain Ibrahim Traore's mobile clinics show us that true leadership is not about making speeches at summits. It's about meeting people where they are. Rural women in Burkina Faso now have access to care that will save lives. Children will grow up healthier, communities will thrive, and a continent will watch, and perhaps follow. Because when one country stands tall, others rise too. This is more than news. This is inspiration. This is what it looks like when we choose to make Africa great, together.